This continuing study of these 4 chapters. Last week's entire sermon was in effect on verse 19 of Ezekiel 7. If you've been with us since the beginning, you know that chapter 6 is a warning of terrible judgment on Israel because they followed false gods or false religions, and it warns that these Israelites, now I'm not talking about non-Israelites, that these Israelites would die before their altars and in their places of worship, because they were worshiping false gods in their places of worship. Ezekiel 7, here is how they will die in chapter 7, verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But not all will be devoured, thank God, for verse 16, but they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. So that verse is a literal description of people who have repented, mourning for their iniquity. They have repented of their iniquity, and God says that they will escape. Now, what would they have repented of? It would have to be of the evil and the wickedness described in the previous passages in chapter 6 and 7, which was almost totally the iniquity of false religion. This is the whole condemnation of everything we read up to this point, that they were worshiping false gods. Now, if you are a Bible student today to any great extent and study religion in America today and in Christendom, you will realize that the majority of our people today, even though they profess to follow Jesus Christ, are actually following false religions. The doctrines which they teach are so far from the doctrines of the Bible that they have in effect a false religion. Now, about half of our people, of course, make no attempt whatsoever to follow the true religion, so the majority of the Israel people are following false gods. Verse 17 and 18 give a word picture of the terrible time prophesied, and then the verse we spent so much time on last week. They, meaning these people he's speaking of here, the Israel people, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. And I guess I made that clear last time, at least I hope I did, that the ones who will be doing the casting of their silver and the gold in the street, and it will be taken from them, are the Israelites. Some of our people think it will save them. God will see that it is taken away. Now, since I preached that sermon last week, I received another letter from Congressman Ron Paul asking for support for his candidacy for the House of Representatives again, because he wants to get this legislation through that will require the currency to be redeemed in gold about a year and a half from now. So you can take any currency you have and turn it in to the U.S. Treasury for gold. Now, I'm not blaming Ron Paul per se. I think he is a very patriotic congressman. He just has not thought this thing out to its logical end and the impossibility of turning these things into gold. I have a letter prepared to send to him. He is thinking in terms of turning into gold only the $118 billion worth of currency and coin we currently have in circulation. So I'm going to ask him if he realizes they're also going to have the gold available for the entire national debt, because the national debt is represented by bonds. And he'll say, well, we don't have to turn the bonds into gold. And I will ask him, well, what if my mother wants to take her $500 U.S. savings bond down there and ask for gold for it? They'll say, well, no, we don't have gold for that. What will she answer? She will answer, well, give me $500 worth of currency, then give me the gold for it. So the entire national debt would have to be represented by gold someplace by the U.S. Treasury. That's $900 billion, and I think I pointed out we would need 6,000 tons of gold at the current price to redeem the existing currency. If we have to redeem the entire national debt, which we would, following the process of first converting it into currency, then gold, that would need another 40,000 tons. That's 46,000 tons only 80,000 tons of gold have ever been mined since the dawn of history. So you can see why I added the term on that title of last week's sermon, the word utter, the utter impossibility of being able to convert our money to gold. Now, God says in this verse, referring to this reason why the gold and the silver must go, he says, it is the stumbling block of Israel's iniquity. Apparently, it is something which prevents Israel from turning to God. And I believe that this gold is going to have to go. I will do nothing to save it. If Rockefeller did steal all the gold out of Fort Knox, as Peter Beater has said, all I can say is good riddance. It won't save Rockefeller, and it won't save the Rothschilds in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And its absence is not going to destroy America, as Peter Beater tries to tell us.